so we just got the inflation numbers. They were slightly more heated than expected. We got 2.4% year-on-year inflation on CPI, and the estimates were 2.3%. So that wasn't enough to do anything to Bitcoin. And now what we're doing is we're landing up in this range. Currently, the market structure still looks good, but we need something to get us out of this range. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about what is going to be to get us out of this range. And hold on, let's see. I want to talk about what is going to be to get us out of this range. And hold on, let's see. Oh yeah, I see. We need something to get us out of this range. And I think I'm going to show you what may take us out of this range. On top of that, I want to talk about something that happened in the last 24 hours that may actually be really bad for crypto. And that's why I use the thumbnail really bad for crypto. It may be good for crypto, but it may be bad for crypto. And I think I want to talk about the bad side of it today. I'm sure a lot of people will talk about the good side. So lots to talk about today. Yeah, big show. There's a lot going on. So let's get into the show. We don't have much time. You want to hear something really funny? Okay, I'll tell you something really, really funny, okay? So, you know that we all ordered our big packages so we could walk around and everyone would talk about how our packages are so big, right? Remember you know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway, Josh ordered his package. Guess what arrived? So we all got big packages. Josh ordered the same as all of us. He got the mini package. So now Josh is walking around with the mini package. He's been walking around the office all day depressed with his mini package. Everyone's looking at him going, bro, what is that mini package? Anyway, look, Josh, next time, bro. Maybe one day when you're older. Oh, guys. Welcome back. There's lots to talk about today. We've got the inflation numbers. Not enough to move us out of... Josh. Bro. Josh got the small package. Anyway, let's get serious. So, not enough, the inflation numbers came out today, not enough to actually move the market out of this range. And I know a lot of people are actually starting to get like really frustrated by the sideways movement in Bitcoin. I read this tweet from 𝗕𝗤𝗓𝗓, and this is exactly how I feel. It said, first they told me to get ready for the halving, nothing happened. Then they told me to get ready for supply shock, nothing happened. Then they said it takes a few months, nothing happened. Then they said October, nothing happened. But I guess this is actually quite normal. I mean, I think if you look at the October analysis, and specifically I looked at the one that 𝗕𝗏𝗓𝗓 did, you can see that generally it does take about 10 days or at least 10 days for the October run to start in October. But I'm looking at the top of my calendar over here and I see that it is actually the 10th of October. So where the hell is this run that everyone has actually promised us? That is what we're going to be talking about today. Remember, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, too late. Probably not worth subscribing now. You've missed half the bull market. You shouldn't subscribe at the second half of the bull market. Pretty much not worth it. If you are here and you are a subscriber and you do need, someone says, Josh, no need to compensate. Josh, maybe I'll compensate you because poor guy. I'm not baked as fuck. It's just when Josh has been walking around with this package all day, and we've all been walking around with our big packages. I mean, you could see it immediately. If you guys are here, smash the like button, obliterate the like button. I wasn't here yesterday purely because I just didn't feel like we had an alpha pack show. That's the truth of it. There wasn't an alpha pack show, and I just didn't want to make content for the sake of making content. But today I'm making content because there's a lot happening. So I need you guys to subscribe to the channel. I want to start off by talking about when the hell we're going to get this October. And I don't know, but I read this tweet from 𝗕𝗏𝗓𝗓. He told me that around 10 days into the run, we're going to break out into October. I want to know where the hell this October run is. I'm like 𝗕𝗏𝗓𝗓. I'm saying, look, you guys keep telling me there's going to be a run, there's going to be October. I want my money back, which is what 𝗕𝗏𝗓𝗓 said. Eric, I want my money back, bro. You said 10 days.
Yes, email 𝗕𝗤𝗓𝗓𝗏𝗓.com.
He just ducks Zhao's email on a stream with 50,000 people, bro. Yeah. Look, and if you want to order a small package, it's Josh at. All right, go. Eric, all yours, bro.
So actually, a point of clarification there. Okay, so first things first, let's actually go over the full picture. Should you be worried? I think is the topic that most people are interested in right now. Should you be worried? Bitcoin has gone down 4% in the past couple of days. This is a crazy move, as you already know. Now, of course, everything is probabilities, at least in the way that I look at things, meaning that there are no certainties, there are just likelihoods. So let's look at some probabilities that might be, a bit assuring. So I'll bring you over here to my.
Can we get Eric's screen on the? Here we go.
Yep.
There we go.
Okay. Now, here's the first statistic that I want to present that kind of makes everything else make sense. Now, September is typically a red month for Bitcoin, right? This past September, we actually saw a green September, and that has only happened 5 other times in Bitcoin's history. What's very interesting about that is that every damn time that we've seen a green September, the rest of the fourth quarter has been overall positive, overall green. Now, that doesn't mean that every damn tick to the upside is green, but of course, on the whole, from the beginning of October to the end of December, that is green with actually, pretty high average returns. In fact, a couple of very large outliers here I'd suggest, 2013 and 2011. But even if we get rid of those, we're talking about on average a 50% move. Sounds pretty crazy right now, but that is a truth. Now, moving on from there and actually referencing exactly what you were speaking about earlier, October is typically a green month. Yes, the average return for October is about 28.5%. But I do have to provide a little bit of a point of clarification there. The chart that I was showing you, Bitcoin October lows, is 10 days in. That's when we expect the low of this month, about 10 days in or 9.5
Amazing.
days.
So today is the low.
We kind of expect the low around now, basically. Yeah, the low typically happens very early on in the month of October. And to be fair, October is actually, as of now, October has still not gone below, I believe, the 2nd of October's low, which is an even more interesting statistic because in election years, which we are in an election year, or halving years, whatever you want to put on top of that, the past two ones, 2020 and in 2016, both saw the low of October on the 2nd day of October. That is actually the low of October as of right now.
Holy shit.
Doesn't mean it's all. Yeah, it doesn't mean that it's 100% going to be the low, but of course, I just thought that it was interesting. Now, to be fair, 2012, the first or one of the first ones, was on day number 26, which actually is very uncharacteristic. We very rarely even see the low of October past, again, the second week, essentially.
And 2019, I see it was also in 2019, it was on 23rd, also quite late.
Yeah, a little bit later there, but not a halving year. So we'll just, and also the weekly trend or the macro trend was to the downside there as well. So a bit of a difference.
So what's your thesis now, Eric? What's your thesis now?
Yep. Yeah, so the way that I look at now is that we expect the high of October to come in very late within this month. On average, we see it around the 21st day of this month. So, basically I'm looking for a low about now, and then I'm looking for Bitcoin to kind of rally into the end of this month. How much can it rally? Well, again, looking at the average returns here, sounds a little bit unlikely right now, but hey, it is what it is. Somewhere, between 25 to 30% is what we have seen on average in the past. Doesn't mean that we're always going to get that again. But with the way that things are going right now, we just saw CPI coming out today. Bitcoin had a very, I would say, minimal response to that. We saw Bitcoin come down a little bit, more or less play within the range. But realistically, talking about a breakout or breakdown for that matter, I don't see anything that is concerning or exciting as long as Bitcoin is essentially below $64,000 and above 59,400. Everything in between there is just noise as far as I'm concerned. So
when you look at the 59, when you talk about that 59,000, you're talking about the lower. Is it this higher low that happened over here? Is that your reference point?
That low is actually coming in a little bit higher than that. This is actually based off of historic returns, particular to the daily right here. It's a fib number. There's some weird stuff going on in the background. But basically, this is how I see the range as of right now between these two red lines. Anything between those two red lines is just it's irrelevant for overall direction. It doesn't mean anything. Yes, below 59,400. Okay, we can start to talk about, Bitcoin coming down significantly again, perhaps. But as of right now, I just haven't seen anything crazy that would make me, super concerned. And I suspect that we're very likely waiting around at least until tomorrow for the PPI coming out. Great name there. And that probably does provide a little bit of clarity on direction. But until then, the more that Bitcoin goes sideways here, the more and more convinced I'm going to be that those statistics are probably going to be right yet again. And we're probably going to see a low around now, and Bitcoin kind of works its way sideways and up from here. So, a little bit more boring times generally is going to be good, is kind of the picture that I'm painting as of right now.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
something, guys. Look, I must say, I kind of agree with Eric, and I don't really care whether it happens now or whether it happens in 5 days or in 10 days. I'm going to show you in the rest of the show why I think the thesis is up, but I'm going to show you something that happened yesterday and is bad. In the meantime, I have some really good news for you. The really good news is as follows, right? So we love Eric. Eric is probably one of the best chartists out there. He's not only a chartist; he's just one of the greatest guys one of the most credible, greatest guys in the market right now. If you want to join Eric for a free, you understand? I'm using the word free, right? Free crown school, literally, and it starts in 5 days. So, literally, you can learn everything that Eric knows. He's just downloaded it into one school. Unbelievable. And you can actually sign up for the school. All you do is you go. It's just one of the greatest guys in the. It keeps happening to me today. You go here. You go to Crown School. You use this link. That'll take you to this page. You have 5 days to sign up free. Once you're in for free, you become like Eric Crown, and you grow big as well. You get testosterone boosts, and you get a free school. It's unbelievable what you can get. So, what I need you to do is I need you to go now and to sign up for that school. Eric, I'm going to actually join the school because I haven't done your school yet. I've done Sheldon's, I've done Carl's. So the next school I'm actually going to be doing with Eric. So it's going to be me and Eric doing a school together with you guys. So if you want to join us, click on that link, sign up. We're going to be doing a school together. Eric's going to be teaching. I'm going to be learning. I obviously don't know much about Eric's trading style, but I'm going to learn it at the school with you guys. Eric, much love, brother. I'll see you in Dubai very, very soon. See you soon, my brother.
Always good to see you, man.
Ciao, ciao, brother. So that's Eric. Guys, I'm telling you, you want to do that free school. Trust me. They're probably one of the best. Someone says eating too many gummies. Not today. So look, I am bullish, and look, I'm looking at it at slightly different things than Eric's looking at, but ultimately, I'm looking at the market structure. I think for me, anything above this 59,700 still means that we've had a higher low on Bitcoin, and structurally the chart kind of remains the same. I think the frustrating thing is that we're not actually moving, and we're not actually moving in an environment where you've got the money supply at the highest level. So it's actually the global money supply has actually hit all-time highs, and we know that Bitcoin is actually a function of money supply, of liquidity, and we are at 107 trillion, which is the biggest money supply globally that we've ever had in the world, and yet Bitcoin is not at an all-time high. Stock markets at an all-time high. China's printing. The S&P hit its all-time high, and Bitcoin just can't catch a bid. And that is the part that's absolutely frustrating. But I know what happens with these things. We get frustrated, we get tested, and then we get rewarded. And that's what I think is about to happen. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen today. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to happen next week. I do know that there are several catalysts around the corner which are actually going to get the market to move. For one, we've probably got another double rate cut coming up. Here it is. There's a 91% chance that that's actually happening. We've got China printing liquidity going up. I just think that there are quite a few short-term things which are keeping the price down. I'll show you one or two of the short-term things that are keeping the price down. The first thing that I saw was that the US government is now free to sell another 70,000 Bitcoin. That's $4.3 billion worth of Bitcoin. This is the old Silk Road Bitcoin that the government has now been allowed to sell. That's keeping it down. ETH has a similar problem. For those of you who haven't been here for a long time, there was a Chinese Ponzi called Plus Token, long time ago. I think it was like 2018, 2017, a long time ago. And they seized a whole lot. The Chinese government raided this Plus Token, and they arrested the founders, and they seized a whole lot of ETH. And now they can start selling those ETH. They've been moving them around. And $1.3 billion worth of ETH was sent to exchanges. And that's why we've had some weakness in the market. But the weakness is not enough to break the market structure for me, and certainly not enough to break the spirit. As you can see, like, I'm very, 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 very bullish. One of the reasons, of course, why I'm bullish is because we are getting pretty close to US elections. I mean, we're 26 days away from the US elections. I don't want to judge anything too soon because I know that the one thing that you know for sure about elections is going to be a surprise. But right now, the Republican victory looks a bit better. And look, I don't really care if it's Republican or Democrat. I just don't want to see. I want to see the team that is most pro crypto, and right now that is the Republicans. And right now the Republicans looking very, very good. Now, you know, we keep talking about the elections. Guys, it's on we're talking about the 5th of November, or 4th of November, whatever the date is. So it's less than 30 days away that this is now actually going to be happening. And as I say, Trump right now very much in the lead and the market's pricing that in. We do have to keep our eyes very, very, very close to our ears very close to the ground here, because things can change here and the market has priced in a Trump victory. If we don't get a Trump victory, the market may actually reverse on its conviction. And that's a big thing. That's something that we do have to look out for. I think that whoever's in the US government does make a big thing for crypto, does make a huge difference for crypto. If we get Trump, I think the market runs. If we get 𝗙𝗤𝗓𝗪, I think we just keep on keeping on. We get a short-term dip and then we just keep on keeping on. So that is, the what's been keeping the market down. That's also why I'm bullish. But speaking of the US government, like, I've always had a problem with the US government that I feel that they're very, very, very corrupt. Specifically, I think the left is, I think all governments are corrupt, but I think the left is a very, very, very corrupt sector of governments. Now, yesterday I was watching something and it got my blood absolutely fucking boiling. And I want to share it with you before we go on to the next section of the show, where I talk about what happened the last 24 hours that could actually be slightly bad for your crypto bags specifically. Not for crypto, just for your crypto bags. It's not bad for Bitcoin or ETH. It's just bad for your crypto bags. But I want you to listen to this interview between Ryan Salame and 𝗙𝗥𝗘𝗧. Now, who is Ryan Salame? Ryan Salame was an employee at FTX. He's a great guy. He was an employee at FTX. He pleaded guilty and he got 7 years in jail. And his 7 years starts very, very soon. Now, what did he plead guilty of? Well, he pled guilty of 2 counts. One is failure to have a money transmitting license. And the second one is that violating election campaign rules in the United States. I want you to listen to this to see why my blood boiled around the US government.
And just as a reader of the news, but I thought the crime at FTX was defrauding 1 million investors, using investor funds for things like real estate.
Right. Completely agree that that is the crime that occurred.
That's the crime, but that's not what you're going to prison for.
Correct. They, in uncovering that crime, they manufactured a lot of other crimes and intent behind them that was just not there and never existed. So the 2 things that I've pled guilty to are operating an unlicensed money transmitting business and campaign finance fraud. The reality is the campaign finance fraud is everything that they wanted. And then they sort of found some other things to lay at my feet and put pressure on me with.
So let's just go through them. What can you describe what the first crime is?
Yeah, so you need a money transmitting license to operate a money transmitting business in the United States.
Now get this, he actually asked the lawyers at FTX whether you need a money transmitting license. Imagine you work for a company and you go and ask the lawyer of that company, don't we need a money transmitting license? And then the lawyer says to you, no, we don't. And you say, cool, look, I asked the company lawyer whose job it is to make sure we're compliant. Said no. And then they arrest you. I mean, it's crazy.
What is money transmitting? Is moving money from one place to another?
Essentially moving money one place to another. When I arrived at Alameda, I went to our lawyers and questioned whether we needed money transmitting licenses or not, because I had just been at a company that had money transmitting licenses. So I knew of these licenses and where they were relevant. And I got very specific legal instruction from good lawyers that we did not need money transmitting licenses.
And those licenses are bestowed by the federal government, I assume.
Yeah, that's correct. And state governments as well.
Okay.
Listen to this. Now, the worst part is that they had money transmitting licenses in the United States, but not in the non-United States.
So that's one, not getting a license, a government license to move money from one place to another.
Correct. Though I will note that the company that I ran we didn't touch U.S. customers. There was a separate U.S. division that did touch U.S. customers, and they had money transmitting licenses.
Okay, so how could you be indicted for that?
It's a great question. Certainly, even if we needed MTLs, I was not a lawyer. I sought legal advice.
Okay, so that's the first thing which got my blood boiling. Now, the second thing that got my blood boiling is listen to why he actually was indicted. This part will drive you guys.
Money from Alameda. which was Sam's company that he owned. Private company, no investors, all just lent money. But I borrowed money, and then I went and did a lot of things with that money. And one of the big things I did was get involved in political contributions.
Right.
But, I also bought like a house with that money. I lived off that money. So the real story there is when I decided to get involved in politics and take a lot of money off of the FTX platform, I again went to our legal counsel and I said, look, I'm going to sell off a large chunk of the money that I have on the platform. This is various crypto tokens. This is, I think I had some equity I was looking at selling. I was going to cash out essentially. And the lawyers advised that that is not the way to do it. The proper way to do it would be to borrow the money against these holdings. It's a tax advantageous strategy.
Yeah.
It's not a crime. It's how most people borrow when they have sort of a large pool of equity. It's how a lot of prominent people get money out. And
I would say right around 100%, actually.
Yeah,
So
well, the lawyers...
This is true. Usually, like wealthy people, when they own assets, they don't sell their assets when they need the money. And the reason why they don't sell their assets, that's a tax event, right? This is not, if you don't want a tax event, you just give them your asset and you borrow against the asset, and then you don't have any tax implications. It's the same as if you own Bitcoin and you want to buy a car. You can put your Bitcoin as collateral and you can buy the car. If you were to sell your Bitcoin, you'd land up actually paying tax on the Bitcoin, which would actually give you less money. And so that's what wealthy people actually do, right? Now, he did the same thing, but he used the money
Advise
to,
it. You
to
go
give
to
it to
lawyers.
the
You don't want to get
Republicans.
hit on the gains, because correct?
Correct. It will eventually be taxed. It's
Right,
It's just
but you've got a low
an
basis on
advantageous
this
strategy.
stuff.
Right.
You took possession of these assets when they were worth much less than they're worth now.
Correct.
And so you borrow against it to cash out.
Correct. And then I use a bunch of that money to get involved in the political system.
So I just, even before you get to that, I just want to confirm that is not only is that not unusual, that is the standard
Correct.
for people in your position.
Correct.
I happen to know that. So
Yeah. And accountants advise it, lawyers advise. I mean, it is, what you're told to do.
100, that is 100% true.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with our system, our tax system, it doesn't even matter. That is what everybody does. Legitimate people. So, okay. So then, but the problem that you ran into arose from the fact that you used some of that money to give political campaign contributions.
Correct.
Okay. So what did that consist of?
I believe in total, I donated about 20 to 30 million throughout the cycle to Republican candidates.
Okay.
So anywhere from your PACs to individual donations to specific candidates up to I think it was 2,800 limit.
And what percentage of that money went to Republicans?
100% of the money I gave went to Republicans. I've always been a Republican. Yeah, it's just the party.
So you understand what happened. He gave $20 or $30 million to Republicans. And so the Democrats who basically ran the courts, put this guy in jail. And now this guy who has a baby daughter and a wife is going to jail. Now you want to hear the worst part of this whole thing. The worst part of this whole thing is that the US government said to him, look, if you plead guilty, in a plea bargain, if you plead guilty, we will not go after your wife for the same or similar charges. So what does this guy do? He pleads guilty and then they still go after his wife. And it just shows you the dirty scumbags that the US prosecutors are. Specifically, they act like it's the land of the free and the land of morality, but we know that the whole thing is corrupt. We also know this video is going to get destroyed, taken off YouTube and shadow banned, but that doesn't matter. I mean, we always speak the truth. But this is something that I really, really, really suggest that you guys watch. I woke up this morning and I listened to this. I was like, you got to watch this. It's one of the most things. It's on Tucker Carlson's channel. It's really very, very, very good, specifically if you're in crypto. Speaking of the US governments also did something else which may be bad for your crypto bags. And when I say your crypto bags, I don't think it's bad for Bitcoin. It's not bad for Ethereum. Probably not bad for Solana, but it's bad for meme coins and it's bad for altcoins, at least in the short term, but definitely not in the long term. And so what happened yesterday, and this is what I want to show you, is that we got the headline yesterday that the US charged GotBit, ZM Quant, CLS Global, and MyTrade. What did they charge them for? They charged them for, have been charged by the US prosecutors on Wednesday, first criminal prosecution for market manipulation and sham trading in the crypto sector. Now, what happened is the US government charged 14 people and I think arrested a whole lot of them. Let's just quickly go and see how many of them were actually arrested. So in 8 18 individuals and entities have been charged for widespread fraud and manipulation in the cryptocurrency markets. Charges were unsealed in Boston against the leaders of 4 cryptocurrency companies. These are all, a lot of them are market-making companies. So why do I say this is short-term bad, but maybe long-term good for your bags? So generally, the people that they charged were market makers. And in crypto, you get these market makers, which effectively create liquidity for tokens before they get listed on exchanges. Their job is specifically to make sure that there's always buyers and always sellers. They act as the buyer and the seller on either side. And that allows us to trade our crypto tokens even when there's no buyers and sellers in the market. So let's take a token. Let's say that you got a token. I don't know, pick a token. Let's talk about cat emoji token, right? Which, by the way, I have actually been following and buying. I think, yeah. So let's say that you want to trade cat emoji token. Now, when you're trading on the DEXs, there's not really much of an issue. But when you're trading on the centralized exchanges, sometimes there's no buyers and there's no sellers, right? So how do you buy and sell in that kind of market? Where do you get the liquidity from? Well, you get it from this function called a market maker. And there's lots of these market makers, and they are very, very, very good and very, very, very profitable businesses. But in crypto, market makers also serve another function, and that is to pump tokens. And we all know that market makers and market manipulators land up actually pumping tokens. I think no one in the industry can deny that. It would be silly if people denied that. But now, what the US government has actually done is they've arrested or gone after the market makers, and they've gone after them for things like market manipulation. Specifically, they went for ByBit, which is a market maker that we know pretty well. You can see some of the allegations in late May 2023, again, working at FAM's direction, ByBit engaged in wash trades to create a spike in Robo-Inu's trading volume so that FAM could once again cause Robo-Inu to trend as she put it on CoinMarketCap. So they're talking about huge allegations of market manipulation for many reasons. One, to pump price. Two, to pump volume on the token. And the reason why you pump volume is so it looks good on the exchanges. So the exchanges will list the token and stuff like that. And so what happened was the US arrested 14 people or 18 entities, 14 people around specific market making, market manipulation, and stuff like that. So this is the beginning of the story. The story goes a little bit crazier when the FBI itself launched a token, believe it or not. So the FBI actually launched their own token. The token was called the Next Fund AI token. They launched their own token, and they tried to engage these market makers and influencers to help them with a token. And the reason why is because they wanted to implicate these people in some kind of fraud. They wanted to test the market. And actually, we know some people that were reached out to by Next Fund. I saw also on Twitter that Next Fund, hi, I don't know if this is real or not, says, hi, I've been looking to get some influencers to promote our project, Next Fund AI. Let me know if you're available. So the first thing I did was, when I woke up, I quickly went to Telegram. I was like, fuck, let me see if Next Fund actually sent me a message. They didn't send me a message. And then I was like, but why didn't they actually call us? No, I'm kidding. I didn't actually say that. But I'm just saying, what the FBI did was actually create their own token to try and implicate and catch people for token manipulation, believe it or not. And so that's what actually happened. And now the question is whether this is good or bad for crypto. So let me tell you what the bad part is, and let me tell you what the good part is for crypto. And I'm going to call it a spade, because I know we're all here for the tech. And I must say, I love the tech. I love the tech behind Pepe, and I love the tech behind all these meme coins. I love the tech. It's not about tech. We're not here for tech. We're here because we want to make money. And another reason why we're here is because we love the movements and the volatility in crypto. The thing is, though, that a lot of the reason for the movements and the volatility is the market makers. So the market makers have created a lot of volatility and a lot of pumps in this market, and also a lot of dumps in this market. But specifically, a lot of the times when you see a big pump in the market, you kind of know the market makers are behind it. And as much as it's actually bad in the long term, it is one of the reasons why we're actually in crypto right now, because we love the volatility. We love the crazy green candles. We love the pumps. With the US going for ByBit and a whole lot of others, what they're doing is they are making this market much more like the traditional market. So you could never do what they are doing in crypto in the traditional market, because you'd be in jail a long time ago. And now what they've done is they've moved the same rules that they apply in the traditional markets to the crypto markets. And so on the one hand, it's really, really good. The good part of it is that we are becoming a more formal industry. And as we become a more formal industry, we are creating much better systems and processes to prevent retail from getting rugged. The bad thing, though, is that as they bring more and more of these systems and enforcement and rules and stuff like that into our market, the less fun this market becomes, and the more this market becomes like a stock market. And that is what, unfortunately, is going to happen to crypto over the next probably 12 to 24 months. There's going to be a new government, there's going to be new legislation, there's going to be increased exposure inside crypto, and they're going to regulate this market very, 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 very quickly. When they do regulate this market, when they do enforce things like they enforced yesterday in this market, long term, it's probably pretty good for legitimizing the asset class. But it's really bad for the degens who are here and are here for the 100x pumps and the 200x pumps and the volatility and the dopamine. Because what's going to happen over time is the crypto market is just going to become very, very, very much like the stock market. And so why do I say it's bad for your crypto, but it's not bad for crypto? It's bad for your crypto because I know that you guys are here for the pumps. I know that you guys are here for the memes. I know that you guys are here for the degen. You're not here for the 10-year long-term investment horizon like the hedge funds, like the VC funds in TradFi. You're here for the pumps, and those pumps are created because of the arbitrage that is created in the market, but because of the regulatory arbitrage. Let me just reshare my screen here. Because of the regulatory arbitrage that is created in the market. And now, over time, what we're starting to see is that the US government is closing that regulation arbitrage, and we're becoming much more like a stock market business. And I mean, as Waz Crypto says, he says, this is bearish for meme coins. 𝗙𝗢𝗕 was one of the biggest market makers for memes, responsible for propping up dozens of cabal memes and scam coins. Will be a lot harder to push memes without crime. He's 100% right. And so I think that what the US government is doing here is they're kind of saying, look, we don't like this meme coin game. We don't like this meme coin game at all. We can't stop it because they're not securities. And so the SEC can't stop this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go and try and kill the fun. And how do we kill the fun? Well, we cut off the legs of the people that do the pumps and the dumps and make meme coins fun, but also, I mean, look, they shouldn't be doing it, but they do. And it wouldn't be legal or regulated. It wouldn't be legal in any other regulated market. So from a good point of view, I guess Santaman suggests removing 𝗙𝗢𝗕, a key meme coin market maker, could boost confidence and lead to healthier trading environment. It's not only 𝗙𝗢𝗕, it's a whole lot of others. Yeah, we're making the crypto markets more like the stock markets, and therefore the fun that we're having in the meme coins is probably going to die. I'm not going to say pretty soon, but soon enough. And so that's why I keep saying that you have to try and make the most of this market cycle as quickly as possible, because 1 or 2 market cycles from now, crypto is not going to be what crypto is. It's not going to be as much fun, and you're not going to get the opportunity to make as much life-changing money, which is why you got to smash the ball out of the park in this cycle. Yeah, so I mean, let me know in the comments what you think about what the US government's doing, whether it's good or whether it's bad, whether you agree with them. Also, talking about whether something is good or something is bad, I want you guys to tell me what you think of this, right? So 𝗪𝗥𝗡𝗑 doxed Murad's wallets. And inside Murad's wallet, he says, I uncovered 11 high confidence wallets tied to Murad, holding $24 million in meme coins on Solana and Ethereum. He breaks down what he did here, and then he actually lists all the tokens in the wallet. So you can see that Murad was holding, he has $20.8 million worth of tokens. He has SPX 6900, which everybody knows. He's holding $20 million that position. He owns this is a Bitcoin. It's a Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic Inu Bitcoin. You know what I'm talking about. He owns $547,000 worth of that. And he basically doxed all of Murad's, or 11 of Murad's wallets with about $24 million worth of tokens. And that got the crypto community really, really, really upset. So usually they call 𝗧𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡 the hero. And usually the people that 𝗧𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡 catches out are the villains. But in this case, everyone was mad at 𝗧𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡 for calling out Murad and doxing his wallets. And you can see Twitter went absolutely crazy. Murad is a doxed individual. Zzak has publicized his wallets. By doing this, he has put Murad in significant danger to anything. I appreciate Zzak's work. However, this is uncalled for. Probably got a point there that now that people know that Murad has so much money, he could be kidnapped or whatever else. It says basically this: Murad owns XYZ tokens. He may or may not dump on you. Zzak was gifted. Zzak, he wasn't gifted. He actually bought the tokens on the market. So a lot of crypto has actually become really, really, really scared of, or really, really, really upset with 𝗧𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡 here about the fact that he actually exposed Murad. And the funniest thing, or the worst thing, is that to this point, Murad's done nothing wrong. He's bought tokens. He's shilled tokens really, really, really hard. But even as per the wallets that 𝗧𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡 uncovered here, you can see that Murad hasn't sold a single token. In fact, so the guy says, wait, so Murad steel-handed every single coin he was talking about, hasn't sold a single token. Someone says, that's my cult leader. Based on 𝗧𝗥𝗢𝗪𝗡's list of wallets linked to Mustaf Murad, it shows that Murad hasn't sold a single token on his list in 7 months. Now, how's that for conviction? Murad has sold a whopping $8 since March 2024. $8 worth of tokens in March 2024, believe it or not. So let's summarize this. Was Zzak right or wrong to actually dox Murad's wallets? Here's my views. My views are as follows. If we want to be in blockchain, we know that the rules of the game are that every wallet is transparent and that everyone sees every single transaction. We know that that's the rules of the game. On the one side, we don't have to go through a central bank or intermediary. On the other side, you know that every single transparent and every single wallet is there forever, right? And if you're going to play in the game of blockchain, you're going to know that people are going to track your wallets. Now, sometimes people track your wallets for things like hacks, for things like calling out scammers, and other times people are going to track your wallet just to see what the hell you invest in, so maybe they can even copy trade you. And so I think whilst Murad hasn't done anything wrong, and I have a lot of respect for him for shilling tokens that he has never, ever, ever sold and holds such big bags of tokens that he actually bought, I do think part of the game that he's playing is that you're in blockchain, and if you're going to make big transactions and if you're going to be a high-profile KOL, well, your wallets are going to be tracked. That's just what happens. That's just what happens. It happens to me all the time. It happens to a lot of other people all the time. And that's just something that we're going to need to learn to live with in this new world of finance. And the truth is, if you don't like it, then there are options. You can go to Monero. You can go and use Monero. It's a privacy coin. You can use things like Zcash. You can even use 𝗙𝗥, which you guys know we spoke about a lot. 𝗙𝗥 is a protocol which allows you to trade where you can't see the transactions on the Explorer. So, you know, if you're playing in this game, you can't be upset when people actually call you out. You can't actually be upset when people actually call you out and find your wallets. Although I do feel sorry for Murad because A, he did nothing wrong, and B, he bought all his tokens and he's holding a lot of tokens which he's told people he's holding. So he's actually been quite credible in that regard. And yeah, I do feel sorry for him because he now does become a crime risk, a kidnapping risk. I don't know where Murad lives, but I can tell you that, you know, in some countries, the guy could easily just get kidnapped now, and people know exactly what's in his wallets. And so, look, that's the rules of the game. It's the new age of finance. There's a lot of pros and a lot of cons in this new age of finance. Okay, cool. Lastly, before we go, guys, so I was saying, I think that we are heading for, you know, this October pump. I think it's very important that you get your portfolios into play. There is a spreadsheet below of a whole lot of tokens that I think that maybe you should be buying. There's probably no surprises here. Things like 𝗙𝗦𝗡, Rune, Injective, 𝗙𝗢𝗕𝗓 had a good pump the other day, Aptos, Sui, all these tokens. Go and have a look at it. Try and align your portfolios. There is one token here that I do want to bring to your attention that we haven't spoken about, and that's, I've spoken about it once or twice, but it's a token called 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗪, and I know Miles made a video about it yesterday, and when Miles made the video about it yesterday, I went and had a quick look at it. They are one of our sponsors, but that's not why I'm talking about them. I'm talking about them because I think the real world asset narrative is a big narrative. I think that these guys are quite well positioned in the real world asset narrative. They started off as a decentralized credit marketplace, which is a real world use case. But now they've launched a blockchain specifically using the Optimism stack. They've launched a blockchain which is called Ocean, using the Optimism stack specifically for real world assets. So this team is building. This team is very, very, very much delivering. I know Miles made a video. I suspect a lot of other influencers will start making videos about it soon. I wanted to bring it to your attention. When I look at the price chart, because that's one of the things that I looked at, I wanted to see that this thing hasn't run before we actually start talking about it. You know, we did call Mantra a few months ago at 30 cents around this real world asset narrative. And Mantra's flying. In fact, I saw today it's one of the big ones that's actually flying because their mainnet is coming up. I think this may be a similar story. These guys are legit. I've spoken to them. Obviously, I speak to all our sponsors before they jump on our show. I think keep an eye on it because sometimes it's good when you see a lot of influencers start talking. It's probably a good time to start looking at something pretty early. Full disclosure, I am invested in this one. Full disclosure, they are one of our sponsors. But again, that's not the reason why I'm actually talking to you guys about it. All right, lastly, before we go, because I think we do need to go today. I don't know if you guys have seen all the noise around Off the Grid, which is this new game that is coming out. So I don't know if you've seen it. It comes from Gunzilla Games, the Off the Grid. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer and the gameplay, but it looks like this game may actually be the real deal in crypto. This is a game which is probably the best Web3 game. Just look at the gameplay. This is like a real high quality game, and it's a blockchain game, a blockchain game as well, but it's much more a game before it's a blockchain game. This launches, I think the gameplay launches sometime next month, if I'm not mistaken. I know right now we've got influencers and streamers and that are playing the beta. And I think that this may actually spark some kind of gaming run. So just keep an eye on this game because I think it is quite an interesting one. Go and look on Twitter. Go and find as much as you can. It does look extremely, extremely, extremely promising. I'll be honest. What else is there? Okay, no, we're not talking about that. That's way too degen. Oh, let's talk about this. So if you're not already part of our squad in the ByBit World Series of Trading, the competition has started. So the competition has started. Sign up to our squad. I think it's the biggest English-speaking squad in the world. You can actually start trading now. So, okay, we've got 610 people in the squad, and we are coming 133rd. Okay, but the competition literally just started today. We've got some people on a 42.9% profit. I'm going to start trading an account. I've got this account here. I just want to load it up with a bit more money. I've got $500. It's not enough for me. I need like $5,000 to actually trade. I can't trade small amounts. I can't put $20 in Bitcoin. It doesn't work for me, right? So I'm going to be trading this account live with you guys starting tomorrow. So if you're not already part of our squad, the competition has started. Don't waste any more time. Sign up to ByBit. There's a link to sign up to ByBit. Sign up to the squad and join the squad as quickly as possible. If we win, and the bigger the team, the more chance we have to win, we can actually win $10 million to split amongst the team. Also, I see here that says late bird promotion, $100,000 WSOT giveaway. Whoever joins from October 9, 6 p.m. Oh man, to October 10, 9:30 a.m. Damn it. This was yesterday. Damn it. All right, listen, guys, sign up. Join the squad. Let's trade together. Let's try and start doubling our money. That's exactly what we said we wanted to do. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Until then. Oh, big show tomorrow, guys. Big show. I've got 4 people tomorrow building a portfolio with you guys. Josh.